Good morning and welcome to Crafters TV, and we've got Wake Up Call for you this morning. And my name's Jan Brown. I am standing in for our lovely Hottie Scotty while he's busy off with his family. We've let him have a week off, as I'm sure you're aware. We've had our Debs with us all week. I'm taking the reins over today, and we've got a fantastic lineup. I can't wait to get started this morning. Got itchy fingers, can't wait to get in there. So what have we got coming up then, you might ask? So we've got lots of information for you for Wake Up Call, and then at 3 p.m. here in the UK, 10 a.m. East Coast and 7 a.m. West Coast, we have got our launch day. And I know there's been a lot of build up to this. I've just posted on my social media. We've got some of the guys down at the TV studios, and we've got a brand new launch with none other than our lovely Leanne Chivers this afternoon. So she will be in the building at 3 p.m. and she's going to walk you through. Now, I've got a little sneaky peek for you this morning. So we'll have a quick look at it this morning, but Leanne's going to go into much more detail. She's got loads of demos lined up for you this afternoon. And then I will be back tonight over here at 7 p.m, all right, which is 2 p.m. over in the East Coast and 11 a.m. in the West Coast. And we've got a Colour Me Happy show. And again, I've got lots of products on there, including some of our Cosmic Shimmer products. So I know lots of you have started getting involved with these. So I'm going to show you some tricks and tips with those. And I've got some excellent products to come on that one later on. But you might say, am I here on my own? Of course I'm not. We are back together. It's a double J day, and I am here with our gorgeous Joe. Welcome, Joe. What have you been up to?
How are you settling in? You're a natural there in the chair, honestly. Craig needs to watch his back, I think, at this rate, don't you? I'm really good, thank you. First day back, a few days away, which was really lovely. But yeah, jam-packed day for us coming up today. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is. I feel like we're like Eamon and Ruth on a Friday, you know. That's what it feels like. You know, maybe I'm the field to your holly, Jan, is how I feel.
Yeah, leading into that weekend, cruising. Yeah,
absolutely. But loads coming up, as you were saying. It's also National Bring Your Dog to Work Day, Jan. It
sure is. Now then, I did think strongly about this, because any of you guys that know me know that I've got 2 dogs, but bringing them to work, that's maybe not such a good idea. My daughter said to me, one of them will just curl up at the side of you, Mum, and he probably would, whereas the other one would cause havoc. So because I'm here for a couple of days, mine have had to stay at home today, and they were at home with their dad. But I think we've got some good fun stuff coming up, Joe.
We do indeed. So yeah, a little earlier this week, Ben spoke to Graham Hall, the dog father, star of Dogs Behaving Very Badly. Not just badly, very badly. And they had a lovely little chat, and we'll be seeing that a little bit later on in the show. So make sure you stick around for that. That's going to be awesome. What a launch we've got today as well, Jan. That new collection, there's been a lot of excitement about that, hasn't there, online?
Pretty much. I know I've seen some of our, if you've been online, some of our design team have been posting sneaky peeks, and I think it's a popular design again. It's something that people like, and I just love the colour scheme, Joe. It's so bright and cheery, and sort of summertime's here. Summertime's arriving this afternoon, it sure is.
Well, I wish we knew what time it's going to arrive, because it's not summertime here in the northeast, I can assure you. I have just driven in 2 hours of torrential rain, but that's a typical British summer.
It is.
Something else that's running, of course, all week, as it does every single week, is the Get It, Got It Good. Of course, this week's Get It, Got It Good is the awesome craft kit. It's Decorative Duo Dyes craft kit, £20 or $20. Now, not only are you going to get this awesome kit, you are going to get 100 bonus points included in there as well. You've got everything you need. You also have loads of great tutorials available for you over at crafterscompanionbox.com. So make sure you grab it, and remember, we'll launch a brand new Get It, Got It Good on Monday, as we do every single week. Right, here it is, of course, this incredible brand new collection. You guys have waited so long for this. I know it was incredibly busy when it was launched on HSN. It's sold out over there, so a lot of you missed out on it. Maybe you didn't manage to get the whole collection. Today is the day. It is live right now for you over on the website, which is awesome. It's all available individually too, so if you want to complete your collection, then of course you have got the ability to do that. I'm going to take you through this. Now, I personally love this because there's a, well, I'm not a real Mancunian. I'm a plastic Mancunian, Jan. You know, one that's just sort of like moved there in recent years. The emblem of the city is the bee. So they're absolutely everywhere in Manchester. And I know it's something that is really on trend at the moment. And this collection really gets it bang on, I believe. So let me take you through what you're getting in here then. So you're going to get this gorgeous edgeable firstly. So whether you choose to use this on the side or you can use it vertically or horizontally, it's up to you. You can do all your edgeable techniques with that. You are then going to get this beautiful embossing folder in here as well. And this is super, super delicate. And it's going to really add a beautiful accent to your projects. Let's then move on to this creator card die. How fantastic is this? I'm seeing this paper pieced absolutely beautifully. So you're going to get that there included. You are then going to get sentiments as well. You complete me. There's lots of really beautiful bee-themed ones. You are my missing piece we've got in here. We can solve anything together. Really inspirational and really sort of staying with the theme of the whole collection. This one here then is another stamp set for you. And what you're going to get in here is lots of different embellishments. I love this one. Be kind, be nice, be honest, be happy, be you, just because. It's just a few of the sentiments you've got in there. This next one I adore. Now this is going to give you all of this cutting detail, so I think it's going to be fantastic for doing boxes. It's also going to be great for having maybe vellums behind. Again, lots you can do with that one. Then we're moving into the cut and emboss folder. Again, great for creating the aperture. Lots of detail in here that you can either sand back or you can ink. It's completely up to you. You've got so many options with this. We have given you a layering stamp in here as well, so you can create this gorgeous bee effect. I'm seeing that heat emboss, so I think that is going to look truly exquisite. We're then going to move into some of the stamps and dies. Now I'm seeing these decoupaged up and think they would be absolutely gorgeous. Whether you choose to use the stamps on their own or use the stamps and dies together, you've got the option in there. Johnny, what is the technical name for a beekeeper? Anyone know? Has it got a fancy name?
Oh, they have, haven't they?
What is it?
Oh,
someone in the comments will help us out.
should have looked that up, shouldn't we?
We'll find out. I'm sure we'll have lots of bee facts all the way through this show. But in here, what you've got is the bee house, bee hive, bee house. Let's go with that. You've also got lots of floral elements. You've got schmetterlings in here. You've got your bees in there too. Again, you're getting the stamps and the dies with that. What is it, Johnny?
Apiarists.
Apiarists.
Yeah, that's the one. Apiarists.
There you go. Don't get confused with atheists. Very different. What you've got here is the honey pot. You've got the hive in here and the honey too. Love that you've got those beautiful embellishments as well. Thank you for translating, Jan, because I didn't have a clue what Johnny said just then. So you're going to get
I got
that
as far as topiary,
well.
and I thought, no, that's where you cut all trees and things, isn't it?
Very, very different to that. Then what you've got, of course, are the two amazing pads. It's been super busy today already on this collection, and I think it is the pads that are going to go. I think those of you that did grab this when it was over on HSN are now coming back for more pads. I love the rich colour tones that are in here that Jan just described. There's something quite whimsical about it. Some of these are quite modern in their design. Some of them have got like a little bit of a sort of fairy tale-esqueness to them. It really is gorgeous, and the tones are beautiful. So you're going to get the pad in here, which is excellent, and then what you're also going to get is the card stock too. Bets on whether I manage to knock all this over before the end of the launch. I think it's probably going to happen. The pad is gorgeous. It is 250 GSM. It's a really lovely pearlescent finish on there too, which is excellent. So great for a whole host of jobs. Double-sided as well, so if you want to be doing things like boxes and construction and concept cards and cards blanks with this, then absolutely you're going to be able to do. I am absolutely in love with that metallic chocolate brown. I think it is stunning. And then you've got this gorgeous, I don't know, it's almost like a sort of, it's somewhere between a navy and a black. It's a really unusual tone that. You're going to receive that in there as well. Now you should be looking at 126.88 in the UK or 192.40, less than £100 or $140. It means that, of course, you will get free postage, free shipping and handling on that. Platinum as well. It's going to go down $79.99 or $112, which really is a knock your socks off deal. Already though, just on the pre-sales alone this morning, we're approaching a fifth of the stock gone on the entire collection. So if you want to get absolutely all of it, and you want to be able to sit back, relax and enjoy the launch day a little later at 3 p.m, then I suggest you get your orders in early doors on that one. Right, we've also got as well coming up a little later in this show, I'm feeling very messy today, we're also going to get as well some stencils for you in the show. Now I know Jan absolutely loves stencils and for good reason. There's so much you're going to be able to do with these. So this one here is upside down. This one here, good start today isn't it, is your delicate doilies that you've got there. Again, I can already see 2 or 3 different ways in which you can mask that off and use separate areas for that, or use it all together. It's completely up to you. And then what you also get in here is the traditional lace. Now there's 4 borders in there that could be used separately, or use all 4 of them together. It's completely up to you. Use them to create borders on things like your scrapbook pages. You can obviously extend those out if you want to. A brilliant price on those as well, $7.98 or $11.12 if you want to get your hands on them. They will be up in Colour Me Happy a little later, 7 p.m. today here in the UK, 2 p.m. across on the East Coast. Now, we've also got something launching over on the website, which is the penny sale, which launches today. And there is a penny sale across a whole host of different dies for you. Basically, buy one item, you get the second item for 1p. I mean, there's not much you can get for 1p. Today there is though, as part of that sale. Head over to the website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.eu and have a little look at the penny sale section over on the website. If you want to get in touch with me, you can do so in all the usual ways. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are across on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you are watching us, of course, over on YouTube. What was that, sorry, Johnny? Naughty dog stories, that's what we need. Yeah, maybe you've taken your dog to work and it was an absolute nightmare. Maybe you've just got a dog, a little bit of a challenging pup. You can send us those stories as well, seeing it as it is Take Your Dog to Work Day. And we will be hearing from the dog father a little later. Ben had a chat with him earlier in the week, so we're playing that out a little later in the show. But I feel like I feel like Jan's over there, she's chomping at the bit to get going with this Be Beautiful. I'm just sort of padding out, and she's like, come on, Joe, I really want to get crafty. Oh. It is a gorgeous collection, this, Jan, isn't it? It is, honestly, yeah. I always think, you know, we've got the Nature's Garden collections, but they're almost like little mini signature collections because you've got pretty much everything you need to go together. And, you know, like we've always said with paper pads, take any of the papers out of there, whether it's the main design on the fronts or whether it's your reverse design, they're all going to blend nicely together. So I thought we'd start off with a few samples for inspiration, and then I'm going to have a play with just some of the elements. You know, one of these days I'm going to challenge myself to use pretty much everything on one project, but not today. So we've got a combination there. That background paper is from the pad there, layered up with some of that pearlescent cardstock. You can see the little bee house there, and then that gorgeous, we're going to use this border in our first demo today. So just to show you some ideas, then we've got that beautiful sort of cut and emboss folder, and again, just by using sort of a little bit of paper in the background, you can see we've got that detail on there. And this one is the same folder, but look how different they look, just inked up in different colours. So exactly the same cut and emboss folder, but look totally different, and that's purely by changing the colour of the ink there, and we've got all those little bees. Then we had that build a bee section, which I'm sure our Leanne will show you this afternoon how to layer that one up to get that effect. And then this is the one that I've just posted on social media, which is one of our design team. This is by Marie. It wasn't my card, I did steal it this morning. So Marie, I hope you're okay with that. But again, some of those stamped elements, and I'm going to be using some of these elements on my card as well. So really, really fun collection. And again, not just for, you know, cards. Think about your gifts. This one's actually a little gift box, and that lovely cut-in die there, perfect for your shaker designs. Okay, so let's pop those to one side then. And I'm going to work mainly with that lovely edgeable, the border. And then I also chose the cut-in die, and then we're going to work with some of the stamped elements as well. So I've got 3 pieces out of the collection, along with some of that gorgeous paper pad, and I'll show you which paper I chose. And then I did use some of the pearlescent cardstock as well. So we've got 5 elements all in one demo. So what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to cut these just to show you how they actually look. So this one
is like a little mini creator card die. So we've actually got a cutting edge around the outside there, and it's going to create the design with your aperture in, and then you also get all the little hexagons as well, which I would be hanging on to. I don't particularly, I've not used them on this card, but they would be great as shaker pieces or as accents on your card.
Nice size this die, isn't it, Jan?
It is, yeah. It would fit nicely, I think, on a nice 7x5 card. The die itself, it normally tells us the measurements on the kit, doesn't it? So we've actually got just over about 4¼ inches by 6¼
Fabulous.
And I think I've got the most skimpiest piece of card here. I was being a bit, it's my sexy black Centura pearl, so I don't like wasting it.
Absolutely not.
We were talking about this the other day. Now you could use some of that pearlescent card from the kit, but I wanted to actually use some of this one. So we're going to take that one in place. So literally, I think there's just about enough to get that edge to edge there. I really was skimping to the last little piece. And then thin metal die, so your normal combination of plates there. And I'm going to pass that through the Gemini. And again, my favourite combination is our large Gemini, and I've got the junior plates. Just makes it a little bit quicker. And then I've got some of that gorgeous yellow pearlescent card, which is in the paper pad as well, and we're going to cut the border out of that one. So let's have a look at this one first. And again, you know, look, we're just literally falling out there. So I'm just going to take that tape away gently. The piece in the middle is waste, which is why I actually stuck it to that bit there.
I bet you'd have a lot of fun paper piecing this back in lots of different
wouldn't that
textures,
look good? Yeah, with some glitter card and things like that.
All of those, absolutely.
So you can see all those little pieces there. I'll clean the rest of that out, so we don't need those. But what
Isn't
we
it
do
funny, Jan, do you think how bees have gone from being like... I remember when I was a kid growing up, bees were a bit of a nuisance, according to my parents. Now we like really appreciate, don't we, all the work that the bees do.
And working hard to protect them, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if you see a bee now, honestly, that's struggling, get it in a little bit of sugary water, invite it in, give it a couple of weeks bed and board, and then send it on its way, whereas before you try to shoo them out of the house.
So let me just get something, here we go, we've got a piece of white there, look, just to show you the detail on there. Absolutely stunning, you know, and you've got the intricacy of the die, you've got the little bees in there, and then that little bit of foliage. And I think, as always, I've got one little tiny piece, look, still trying to stay in place. So that's going to be used as a focal point on the front of our card. And then I'm also going to take out the edgeable. And this one again is a full cut, so it cuts the whole piece out, and you can use this as a border on your designs. You can use it, like Joe said, horizontally or vertically. And we're going to use 2 on my design. I've already cut one of them, but again, let's just pop this one through the Gemini.
So does this act then exactly the same way as our edgeable dies would, Jan?
The edgeables don't have a cutting edge along the bottom, Joe. So this actually cuts out like a whole piece. But I will just talk you through how to make it an edgeable. There is a way that you can do that on your projects. So let me just pass this through the Gemini, and then I'll show you what I mean. Because this has got a cutting edge all the way around, it's actually going to cut me a whole piece out here. So let me just take the tape away and release that through that release hole, and you'll see what I mean. I've actually got the equivalent of a topper here.
Nice.
Yep. So again, if I pop it on that white card, you can see there, we've just got a little piece, but you've actually got a piece now that you can add to your decoration. It can go across the bottom of a design, it could go down the edges, it could even go at the top of the card. Now, if you wanted to use that as an edgeable, if you're using your junior plates, what I would do is pop it back in my, you know, pretend this is the cardstock. And if you just leave that cutting edge overhanging the edge of your plates, and then pop the rest of your pieces on here just to trap it. But whenever you've got that cutting edge hanging over the edge, whoops, let me just get it on there. Remove that out of the way. So what I want to do is just leave that last little cutting edge hanging out over the edge of the,
see.
yeah? And then if you actually pop the rest of your plates in there and cut it, it's actually going to attach whatever you've got here. So say you've got another piece of card here, this piece is going to stay attached because it's not actually within,
That's
it will
clever.
only cut within the sandwich of your machine. So leaving this bit out here, you're going to be able to then make it like an edgeable works. But I wanted them separate this morning. So we've got those at the ready. I can clean those out in a second. Get rid of all the bits off there. It's lovely and tidy this morning when I came in.
Oh,
yes.
we can change that, Jan.
I know, it won't be by the time we've finished. And then the last bit I've got is the stamp set. So again, we're just going to stamp some of the elements out here. And I chose the honeybee set. I love this one. And this is the one with the honey pot and the hive in there. And you also get all the metal work. This is becoming quite a regular thing now with the stamp sets where you're getting the metal work to cut them out. So I'm just going to stamp a couple of these out to show you, but I have got them ready, done and coloured because obviously the colouring does take a little while. So I've got some Nina cardstock, which is my preferred for anything like this. You can use the stamping card. Okay, I've got my platform at the ready, and I coloured with my alcohol ink, so I chose my alcohol proof ink. If you're watercolouring, then just substitute it for the Finesse waterproof ink. So just be mindful of what you're going to use to colour in with first. All right, so let's have a look then. Let's stamp out that beautiful honey pot. I love this. Absolutely gorgeous. Pop that one on there. Give it an ink up. Okay. And then we'll stamp this one out and then I'll show you the ones that I've actually coloured in. So we've got that one at the ready. Pop that onto the bottom of here. And just when you're stamping, just remember that you need the little bit of space round it if you're going to use the die to cut it out. If you're stamping onto a, you know, like a piece that you're going to use as a topper, that's fine. But with this one, I do need room to actually get the die around it, so don't go too close to your corner. So you can see there how that one's stamped up. I've made a right old mess already, haven't I? I've got stuff everywhere.
Well, you spoke too soon, Jan,
didn't you?
I've
got bits everywhere now. And then once you've got that coloured up, you can see how we can literally take it to that next level. So I've just used my tri-blend markers on that one just to colour it. And then also from the set, I'm fine. Johnny's just saying I'm very fine, very quick hand with my colouring, yeah. And then I also chose the little beehive there, and I've done the same with that one. And you can see how the dies just leave that. I love that little white edge around it. If you're not keen on it, you can fussy cut next to your black image, but I always find that I cut into it when I'm cutting close to the black line. So I like the fact that it leaves that little halo around it. You've also got the little sticky honey that's been in the honey pot.
Is it a spool?
Oh, now
I want to say it's a spool. I could be wrong.
I don't know. But yeah, it's covered in honey. And if I just get this to catch the light, oh my goodness. We've got this coming up on Colour Me Happy later, and I am in love with our new glossy highlights. Can you just see there how I've actually I've left this stick as wood, and then I've just coated the honey with the glossy highlights. My goodness, it is great fun. And then also I've stamped out a couple of the little bees here. And again, I've just done their wings. Don't know whether we can just get, they're very tiny those to catch the light, but I've got the glossy highlights on the bee wings as well, and I've got a couple of those. So we've got pretty much everything we need to get going now. So let me just move all those to one side. Now my card, I'd got this sort of idea in my head as to what I wanted it to look like, and I've sort of chopped into it and got it ready. So I've used white stamping card, and I'm working on 7 3/4 square, which just fits nicely into an 8-inch envelope. And then I've actually cut away some sections at the front here, and I've replaced those sections with acetate. Nice. You can just see there where we've got the acetate inside. Now, I was thinking about how it looked on the inside, and I thought maybe, you know, if this was actually going to be gifted to someone, I would probably cut a piece to cover the inside as well, or even put some pattern paper inside. But just for the benefit of the demo, I'm going to leave it as it is. So then, oh my goodness, again, paper pad, you know, and yes, of course you need an extra one.
Colourway,
you know, I've got to the point now that whenever a collection comes out, you get it in the main collection, but I always add another paper pad, because again, you know, how are you going to use them? Which side are you going to use? That's that lovely honeycomb look that we saw inside that card at the beginning, the sample card. So I actually chose one with the honey pot on, and I went for this one here because I wanted this design inside, and then I've used a strip of the paper on the outside as well. And on the reverse of this one, again, you've got the gorgeous sort of, I love these abstract designs. Sometimes I like these as much as the other side, and that's why I tend to buy another pad, because I use one pad and I can use all the fronts. And then the second pad, I know I've got all the reverse patterns to work with. So that's how it tends to work in my head.
Could we stamp onto that and add ink onto those pages?
You could, yes. They're not coated. That's a good point, actually, Jill. They're not coated papers, so you can do your stamping straight onto there. So if you're not, if you're not into colouring, like we talk a lot about using the alcohol markers to colour. If that's not your thing, you can stamp the images straight onto scraps of your, when you've cut out what you need for your card, there's always a bit left over. Stamp these images, and same with the little beehive and things like that, straight onto your pattern paper, and use the dies to cut them out there. If it's not strong enough, I sometimes stick it to a piece of Nina card just to give them a bit more substance. But absolutely. So what I've done then out of that piece of 12 by 12 paper is I cut the first piece and matted it. I just love the colour, and again, it seems a shame to waste all that bit, but I have got plenty left, and that's going to go on the inside of my card. So we'll get that one stuck in first and get that one out of the way.
Very busy for this already today. The paper pads, lots of you adding at least one extra of each of the paper pads into your baskets. It's going very quickly. It sold out actually when it was launched over on HSN. It's the same collection we're launching here today on Crafters TV, the full collection that was launched over on HSN. So if you already got this on HSN, you've got the full collection. You should have everything that's in this bundle. During that launch day show, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the demonstrations. If you only got certain elements of it and you want to come back and complete your whole collection, it's all available individually for you, or you can go for the whole collection in one click. I can't believe that it's less than £80, Jan, for Platinum members.
I
when
know,
you see
it's
what you're
so
getting.
fantastic. I always think we always have the best deal on when we launch them. So the fact that you've got the whole collection, there's no elements have sold out yet, because what happens is, for example, if the paper pad sells out, we can't bring you that whole bundle back in one go. No. So it's best to get it when it launches. Best offer, it's the best deal we give you. And you know that you've got all the components there. If you hang on maybe for, a day, a week, whatever, and one of those elements have gone, then we have to look at reassembling that bundle with a different offer. So I always tend to get these when they're first launched, because you've got everything to play with then, and it's all going to coordinate. So again, I've matted and layered on that yellow card just to make a panel for the front. But before I stick that one down, I want to incorporate these lovely designs here. So the piece that we cut with the bees on, I'm just going to slot underneath so that it goes across into the acetate here. Nice. And I cut a second one at home at the ready that we're going to pop on this side. So what I'm going to do is just put a little tiny bit of tape along here, because this is going to be covered over. And I just want to trap a little bit of it so that there's enough of it underneath there to fill the gap. And again, I've just sort of eyeballed the distance at the top and the bottom.
Quite clever really, this thing, because I mean, you're kind of getting that look and feel of an edgeable, but it's easier really, isn't it? Because you're able just to stick it on the bits that you want.
Yeah.
It's not a cheatable, but it's nearly that, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's giving you a little bit more sort of freedom, like you say, as to where you want to place it. You see them where we do the diagonal card, where you cut the front piece. You could have it just running along the front there. It would look fabulous. Imagine making a box with your sides this deep. Nice. And having these all the way around the box. It would look really nice as well. So now I've got those trapped in place. I'm going to place that piece over the top and secure those. So these are actually underneath there. So they're over the top of I haven't bothered sticking the back of them here. I don't mind that these are actually free, because once this middle piece is down, it's going to anchor them in place there. And that's why I put the acetate behind it, so that it's got a bit of stability there. So that's where we've got to so far. And when I lift that up now, you can see that those pieces are actually against that see-through acetate, and you can see the piece in the back. And then the piece that we cut out here, the actual creator card element, we're going to pop in the centre here. So I'm going to use my dotty tape pen for this one because we've got that die cut area there. I'm just literally going to take this and gently pop some of the dotty elements. There's another little piece, look, hiding in there. I'm sure they jump back in when I'm not looking. All right, so just where we've got some of those elements, nice and light on there, in the direction that the dies go in, and then you're not going to risk actually damaging any of the pieces. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bead of my wet glue around the outside edge there, just to secure all the way round the edge. So I've got tacky glue in my little applicator, and because it's a fine tip applicator, I can literally just pop this through. If you're lucky enough to have one of our Xyron machines, you can actually run this through the Xyron so that you've got it sticky. If you want to use double-sided adhesive, you could actually put a piece of that on the back of your cardstock before you cut it so that it's already sticky when you're finished. So lots of different ways that you can get this kind of thing stuck down. So again, once we've got that in place, I'm just going to pop that sort of about central, leave a little gap at the bottom there. And that's the same width as my mat that's underneath. And then I've just got two little tiny pieces here which are going to fill the gaps. These were just of the scraps that were left over, so we're going to pop those just on there. I should have actually lifted that one to put it underneath, I think. There we go. And then the same at this side. And then we can start building up some of those lovely stamped elements on top there. So
absolutely awesome, coming together beautifully, Jan. And just one of so many different things you'll be able to do with this collection. What I love about this, Jan, is it's not a new way of crafting for people, is it? You know, these are all things that, you know, we own variations of, but so different to anything else that I think we've really had in our collection. I mean, I know we've done a couple of creative cards with bees in before, but there's every element of this collection I look at and think that's unlike anything we've done before here at Crafts Companion.
Yeah, I think each time a new collection comes out, they just almost seem to better the last one with regards to the flexibility of how you use the pieces. And the reason we try and do that is to give you that maximum sort of usage. It's no good. I don't like things that, you know, you buy a die and it just does one thing for you. I do like to have sort of multiple uses for them. Right, okie doke, so I've just got some yellow twine and I've got somebody crawling now around my feet, honestly. I wouldn't go too close to them down there if I were you. He's on the floor down there and my shoes are down there. He'd be laid out in a minute on the floor.
Oh, here goes the comments. Johnny's Angels will be out in force now.
Oh dear. It's like he was trying to be really quiet and creep in, and I'm like, where's he going? Where's he going? He was downstairs in the cupboard. So yeah, I've just wrapped around the top a couple of times. Come back for some more now, look. Shoes obviously didn't put him off. And then I'm just going to tie a bow just with that twine, just to add an extra feature. Is there anything I can help you with, John? Are you all right, my love? I like a man on his knees. That's got them all laughing now.
I thought this only happened when Debbie was here. Oh,
here we go.
The comments have spiralled, Jan, I'm afraid to say.
Bless him, he was trying to be so discreet, and then we just sort of couldn't ignore him, knelt down here on the floor. Right, so we're nearly there then. We've got to pop our elements that we stamped out. So I'm going to go with some of these, and I'm going to use some tacky glue to pop these on. Bless him, he's gone out blushing.
He has,
now.
he's gone, he's left now. Loads of people are tuning in from all over saying hi. Tammy's in Ohio, Patty's in Michigan, Diane's in from Hawaii. Who else have we got here? Deb's in Maryland, Con in Northern England, Rinda's from Texas as well. Karen Fisher says, I think since it's Take Your Dog to Work Day, we should send in pictures of our dogs. Why don't we do that in our Colour Me Happy show later, Jan?
I would love to see them, honestly.
Yeah.
I love pictures of any doggies. I'm a real doggy person.
Right, all the dog pictures, Colour Me Happy. Make sure you join us at that 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Lots of love for this new collection. Mandy Doodlehands is loving it. Dragon Mum says, good morning. Just ordered the beautiful collection. Can't wait to get it. My daughter's nickname is B, so we already
fantastic.
have lots planned. Pamela says, "Oh, John," and then she uses the eye emoji and the candy emoji. Jan. Mandy Doodlehand says, "Come back, Johnny. Love heart face. Love heart face. Love heart face." Honestly, yes, I'm sure he'll pop up again throughout the day, Jan. Don't you think?
Bless him. I tell you, he was trying to be so discreet down here. He was like crawling along on his hands and knees. Oh dear. Right, let's have a look then. We've got those 2 little bees left. So I've got one that is on a little foam pad there. I'm being very daring again, first thing in the morning.
Are you? You and foam pads,
You know,
Jan.
straight
You're
in.
friends now.
Don't speak too soon, Joe.
Okay.
This one's been stubborn. I did great on the first one. Oh, look. Just talk amongst yourselves. Oh, here we go. We're sorted.
Oh,
Yep.
John's back, Jan.
He's back.
Steady.
Look for
He's
some
back.
more. I knew he'd be coming back. Come and say hello. Come and say hello to my viewers, John. Look, he's here. Look. He's only little. He's not really. He's this big. There we go. And then I've just chosen a sentiment there that says, "You're sweeter than honey." Okay. And we're going to pop that one across the top there. Just add a little bit of extra glue on there because some of my foam pads have been there a while and I think that's why some of them are a bit stubborn.
Lorna Jane says, "Oh wow, hi Johnny." Me too, no comment. You guys are too much on a Friday. You can tell it's the weekend, can't you, Jan?
I know, honestly.
Everyone's got
We
that
all sort
Friday
of lose it a
feeling
little
today.
bit, don't we? Okie dokes. So you can see that finish there, and then I'm going to turn it round. Charlotte will give you a lovely shot there from the front. Fantastic.
Beautiful.
So using several different elements there, and then inside you've got the paper speaking for itself, little bit of extra stamping in there, and then you can write your sentiment inside there. And then if you pop back to see us at 3 o'clock this afternoon, our Leanne has got, I know she's got a whole festival of demos lined up for you this afternoon. So just a little sneaky peek this morning. Right, so...
You seem really mischievous now, Jan. I don't know what it is. Don't forget, you are getting an incredible deal. $126.88 would be what it costs you to get all of this individually if you are, of course, in the UK. Instead, you're looking at $79.99. It's quite big as well, I must say. For a Nature's Garden collection, it is on the larger side, which is excellent because there's so much that you're able to do with all of those different elements. You should be looking at $192.40 in the US. You're looking at $112 today as part of that launch day deal. Right now, it's a very special lady's birthday today. The lovely Sandra Dundas. It's a birthday, and she has got a right haul of goodies to celebrate as well. I know.
Look at those.
She says, "Joe, I got mine from hubby for my birthday today. Mr. Yoda bought it this morning, had a play and sent in a picture of my mate. And here's all of the other wonderful stuff that she's got her hands on. Look at that beautiful collection." Sandra must have been stalking the website, I reckon, waiting for that to go live.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm
That's
so glad
a good
it's come
haul,
quickly.
that, isn't
Look
it?
at all of
Plenty
that.
to keep you going there.
Wowzers. Sandra's just up the road actually as well. Maybe we should do like click and collect for local viewers. Maybe they just, they could like pop
would
up
be
to
good,
the
wouldn't
warehouse
it?
now and just grab it. That's not something that's happening. I always get in trouble for talking about things like this. I'll get an email in a moment. Now, we did mention it a little bit earlier. We're going to talk about Ben's interview with the dog father in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I need to let you know, you saw Jan use it there, the glossy highlights. Now, we launched this last week. Thousands of these went in the couple of days in which we launched it. We do still have it in stock right now. They are great value, $4.79 or $5.56 if you're a platinum member. I'll just show you this here. I mean, it's going to be a little bit difficult to see, but look at how you've got that real sort of like liquid glass-like finish on here. You can layer it up. You can flood and pool it in areas. You could even actually maybe draw or write with it. We talked about too. Really excellent for accenting and highlighting certain areas of your projects, and you'll be seeing more of that in the later Colour Me Happy show with myself and Jan. 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Right, we're going to have a little look at something now. Seeing it is Bring Your Dog to Work Day, a little earlier this week, the lovely Ben had a chat with Graham Hall, the dog father, a star of dogs behaving very badly on Channel 5. Let's see what they got up to.
So yes, it is Bring Your Dog to Work Day, and who better to talk to on this day than a master dog trainer? And here in the UK, we have a brilliant show on Channel 5 called Dogs Behaving Very Badly. And I wanted to introduce you to the host of that show this morning here on Wake Up Call. Graham Hall joins me. Good morning.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
I'm very well, and I know that you normally wear a waistcoat and a cravat there, so I've tried to emulate your look this morning.
Very good. You're only missing one little bit, though, that bit there. So
yeah, I've got a few
kind of a cravat,
but I haven't got any cravats, so maybe that's the next thing I need to add to the look.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, you can dress it up or dress it down, you know.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, no, it's always been part of the look. A little bit of tweed and a cravat. But but dog training is what I mainly do, not style.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got a book out, of course, at the minute, which maybe we'll chat more about later on. All Dogs Great and Small. What I've learned training dogs, it's called. But we're here to chat about Bring Your Dog to Work Day. Not my dog on the sofa with me. This is Willow, producer Erin's dog, who we'll chat more about later on. But what's your take on Bring Your Dog to Work Day? I suppose slightly different this year in the fact that a lot of people will probably be working from home, so their dog will be with them anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think 2020's version of Bring Your Dog to Work Day involved really just sitting around at home doing a Zoom call. But at least for some of us this year, we are back at work, back in the office, and today's an opportunity to take your dog with you, which is a great thing. But I think there's a couple of things we need to think about. So I would say let's look at this from 3 points of view: from yours, your dog's, and those people at the office. So first of all, I think from our point of view, it's great to have the dog with you and know that they're not, kicking about at home, potentially getting bored. I've seen studies, by the way, that suggest that when there's a dog in the office, that we are more productive, which is interesting. You would think that was kind of counterproductive because, or counterintuitive, I should say, because you're going to be distracted by the dog, but actually they lift us, they sort of motivate us, and we get stuff done. So from a dog's point of view, most dogs are pretty sociable. They love meeting new people, and I think they really enjoy being there with us. However, some dogs just aren't, they're just not that bothered. And particularly, if you've got a dog that's a bit funny with strangers, and you will know that, of course, don't take them to work. Why would you? You're not doing them any favors. They'd rather chill out at home, And then finally, there are some people who, are a bit scared of dogs. Yeah. So, and we're not all dog lovers. I think you and I are, Ben. Clearly, producer Erin is. Lovely dog there, Willow. But some people are properly scared of dogs. So if you've got somebody like that working close to you at work, it just doesn't make sense to impose your dog upon them. So if you can take your dog to work, great. Maybe pop home at lunchtime if you didn't know it was Bring Your Dog to Work Day, and go and bring your dog in. But just think of those factors. That's all I would say.
And what would you suggest, if people are thinking about doing this, what are the kind of things that perhaps we need to take for our dog just to make sure that they're comfortable through the day? Yeah.
Well, I think you're clearly going to need to bring your dog in with a lead and collar. What I wouldn't be doing is just let my dog in the office and let them run amok. So the first thing really is getting there. So if you're going to bring your dog in the car, make sure they're secure in the car. They can't distract you, that kind of thing. Once you get to the office, I'd walk them round on the lead, right? Because most dogs in a new place will run amok. They'll run like crazy all around, just checking it out, which is going to disturb people. There'll be litter bins going knocked over left, right, and centre. So walk the dog around, show them the new place. And by the way, that's a good tip for if you're moving house or you're introducing a dog to a new place, perhaps a hotel room, things like that. Yeah. And once they've got the hang of it, then you can let them off the lead. So you're going to need your lead and collar. Don't forget a bowl, because, it can be kind of warm in offices, and it's not what dogs are used to. So plenty to drink and a toy. Here's a little tip for you. There are toys that make dogs excited, and there are toys that calm them down. Yeah. Now, at work, you want the calm version of your dog.
Absolutely.
So let me give you an example. I don't know what Willow's like with tennis balls and things like that, but lots of dogs give them a ball and they just go a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So you can imagine it, can't you? You're trying to get some work done. You're on a Zoom call with a colleague, and there's a tennis ball flying everywhere, and a dog chasing the tennis ball
Not the
straight
best
across
thing
the
in the
desk.
world, is it? No.
That's the kind of thing that revs a dog up. So the opposite would be something like, for example, you know those rubber toys that you can get that are quite hard and chewy. You can put food inside, or something like that, like one of those nylon bone things that you can get. That creates a kind of gnawing, calming effect. You want a dog really in the corner who's chilled out, going, I love this, it's great, and not the whoopie-doo dog that's climbing over everybody's desk. And the toy will do that for you.
Excellent tips there. And the other thing to think about as well, of course, if it's bring your dog to work day, chances are if you've got a workplace which is allowing this, it may well be that there might be more than one dog there. So again, what are your tips on potentially introducing your dog to maybe a colleague's dog that they've not met before?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, because the chances are if they are allowing you to bring your dog in at work, you ain't going to be the only person with a dog, right? So I would get to meet the other dog outside, not so much inside, because depending on the layout, it can be quite an enclosed environment, a bit of a pressure cooker environment. So dogs are best when they meet outside. There's a bit of room, there's not so much pressure, and you might have the time to go for a quick walk. So that's a good idea anyway, because it's going to settle them down before you get into the office. But also walking in parallel, there's something very special about that. You're near the other dog, you know they're there, you're getting used to them, but nobody forcing you to say hello yet. And on that, a little tip. As humans, I mean, we think that eye-to-eye contact, face-to-face, a handshake in the good old days, that's the way we do it. We're very comfortable with that. But for most animals, and dogs included, face-to-face, it's quite a confrontational thing. So dogs are quite happy sniffing around each other's back ends, the sort of thing that wouldn't be very polite for us. So when they meet, allow them to do it in a doggy way and do it outside before you bring them inside.
All top tips there. And one of the reasons we sort of brought Willow in today, actually, was to, producer Erin described Willow to me as quite an excitable dog. And she said it might be a good example for you to show Willow to Graham, because she's going to be jumping up on you, Ben, because, she's not really met you before, and she'll be excitable, and the paws will be up on your shoulders. I haven't seen any of that, so I'm quite disappointed in her good behaviour. I wonder why she's behaving so well.
Well, I think it's because she's kind of in the presence of two men wearing waistcoats. So clearly that's what's done it. You must have something special. I take my hat off to you.
I'll take that. The thing is, I obviously watch your show. I'm currently reading your book, so I think maybe because I already have a dog, perhaps know how to react around dogs as well. Maybe it's my calming demeanour, Graham. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it is. And I think there is a lot to be said for the right tone of voice, the right touch, and the right kind of body language. So, see, if I look at what you're doing now, you've naturally, I'll be honest, TV presenters often are like this. They got a very nice, calm voice. It's a big part of your job.
Yeah.
But also you sat very calmly. You're giving her a little tickle. It's nice and slow. All of those things are nice, but calm. The opposite of that, of course, would be that kind of whoopie-doo praise we sometimes do with dogs. That's sort of like, yes, good girl, yes, fine, yeah, I know, yeah. We'll have a play in a minute, and all that's doing is revving her up and up. So what I'm seeing is a calm man and a calm dog. No surprise, you might say.
Well, listen, all top tips. It's been brilliant to speak to you. Obviously, for our UK viewers, is there a third series coming soon on Channel 5 of dogs behaving very badly?
Yeah, there's a fourth season, actually.
Fourth,
So
fourth,
I'm filming it right now. That'll be out later in the year. So yeah, Dogs Behaving Badly on Channel 5. You can catch up on My 5.
Yeah, and just as well for our US viewers, just give us a quick chat about your book as well, which came out. I think it came out in February, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So it's called All Dogs Great and Small. What I've learned training dogs, because I've worked with about 5,000 dogs now over more than a decade. So along the way, you learn a few things, and you can learn a lot from books and the internet, of course. But actually, you learn an awful lot by just working with dogs. You try things, you just get a feel for what's working. So I thought it was about time to write a book to share that experience with people, and really let you into a few tricks of the trade, how dog trainers do it, so how I do it in particular.
Well, it's a brilliant read. As I say, I'm about halfway through currently. I know producer Erin has just ordered it too, but I think one of the things that she definitely needs in her life when she needs Willa to calm down, me to pop over and give her tummy rubs. The dog, that is, not Erin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just buy a waistcoat, Erin. That's what I would do.
It's a way forward, isn't it? A waistcoat and a cravat. Graham, it's been brilliant to chat to you. Thank you so much for all your hints and tips, and we look forward to seeing you back on our TV screens very soon.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, look at that. Hello. Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. So lovely to have Graham on the show there chatting to Ben. Loads of you loving that at home as well. Susan Elliott says, hi Graham, you're one of the best dog trainers I've ever seen. Love your programmes. Lorna Jane says, I love this programme. I've used many of these tips on my neighbour's dog. I agree it's the people that need the training. And Pandacraft says, hi, I love your show with the fabulous dogs. My dog barks at every dog. I mean, dogs bark, don't they? I guess that's what they do. Some dogs don't bark at all, though, Janet. It's funny. Are your dogs barkers?
The little one used to be. Only when he saw somebody, because our window in the lounge is quite low down, so he could pause on there and have a nosy. But he's nearly 15-year-old now, my little boy, and he's gone deaf. So now he can't hear the noises outside. He doesn't bark as much anymore. It's the other one that normally sets him off.
Yeah, loads of you loving that. It's National Bring Your Dog to Work Day. And as we said, we'll do some doggy pictures actually then in that later show, the Colour Me Happy show, with myself and Jan, which will be coming up at 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast time. Mary Lee, still lots of excitement about John in the comments, which I will have to scoot over at this point, I think. But looking ahead, though, of course, to Colour Me Happy, Jan, lots of great products coming up in that show, isn't there?
We sure have, yes. And what I've done for Wake Up Call, I just want to sort of dip in. We've got a lovely set of stencils, which were launched with Sarah's Garden Party signature collection. And again, I think they're a little bit underrated stencils. I know at one time we always used to say embossing folders were a bit underrated, but I think people are getting to grips with those now. But stencils are something that, they come in the collections and then people don't really know what to do with them. So we've got two together today. We've got the one which is the traditional lace borders, and this particular one here at the bottom. Now you can use it as a whole stencil, but I love this one. Actually stamped and embossed in white embossing powder. It just looks like a piece of lace. So you could then, you can extend it and add it to your projects. But any of these can be cut into strips, or you can use it as a whole thing. And then you've got that gorgeous delicate doilies, which is the one that I'm going to use in our demo in a second. Again, like Joe said earlier, definite cuttable areas in there if you wanted to actually snip into it. So I'm just going to show you a few samples as to how you can use them. Now these were actually done with our Garden Party collection, but basically just making your backgrounds with them there. That looks gorgeous. It's all toned in nicely with the colour scheme from the collection. And then again, we've actually got that means of tipping it there to make the easel card, and along the bottom there you can just see one of those borders from that border stencil that's actually been used along there. So absolutely gorgeous. And again, we've got similar kind of idea here where we've used it as a background with the elements sat on top of it. But if you sort of can't find the right paper choice that you want, you're in charge of the stencils, because you can use whatever sort of colour scheme you want to there. And then that's another one with those borders where we've just snipped into them and used them top and bottom there to frame. And we've actually made it into a Z fold there. So you can just see that was just literally one of those from the piece in there. So really, really pretty. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to bring in the doilies, and we're going to have a look. Now these are 6 by 6 in size, and again, just let me get something to show you that on. I don't know whether it's going to show
Rosalind
up
says,
that well.
"Oh, Jan, I will stencil anything. I love stencils."
Yeah.
Lots of people rediscovering them, aren't they?
Yeah, again, as I say, I think it's just bringing them back to life. We've all got them in our kits, you know, and they sort of sit together and, you know, you maybe get an odd one out every now and again. I mean, I use them a lot with my mixed media work, but in paper crafting as well today, I'm just going to make quite a basic card. You know, if you're a beginner to crafting, you've got the equipment to do this, it makes a stunning design. So what I've done then, I've taken some elements. We've got a nice builder kit on the show today, which has got sort of starter components in. So you've got watercolour card in there, you've got Nina card in there, you've got one of our paint brushes in there with the paint palette, you've got the brown craft mats, and then you've got some of the blending brushes as well. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of that, I love the watercolour card, 300 GSM, it's a really nice weight, and it's just got that slightly pitted surface, but again quite smooth for some watercolour cards are really, this is really obvious, that actually looks quite smooth on the camera there, you can just see there's a little element of it. Now I've deliberately made this a wee bit bigger than my stencil, and I'm going to cut it down afterwards, but what I want to do is anchor that stencil in place. So I'm just going to centre it on my piece of card and then literally just stick it along that little edge on the stencil there, and then we can actually pop that underneath, and then I'm going to do the same on the bottom edge so that it doesn't move. Now you can actually use our stick and spray aerosol adhesive on the back of your stencils. That way they will actually stick down to your piece of cardstock and then just peel away because it's a temporary adhesive. So if you prefer to do that, that's fine. And then what I'm going to do is I've taken two really nice bright colours from our opaque ink pad range, and I love these for sort of blending properties in them. And then I'm going to use the Spectrum Noir applicators, which are in that builder kit, and then you get a set of the sponges as well. So I've got one for my orange ink pad and one for the pink so that I don't contaminate the ink pads. And literally all we're going to do is apply some colour. So I actually want to start with the orange one there. So we'll
Whenever
put
I
that
see
one.
tweezers now, I think of you, Jan.
Honestly, they come in handy
You
for all
love them,
sorts
don't
of
you?
things, yeah. Because I usually end up covered in ink. If you'd have seen me the other day, what was I working on? It was something for the shows over the weekend, and I looked like a Smurf. I was covered in blue ink by the time I'd finished. Not sure if it's not on to one of tomorrow's shows, and I was literally, we looked at my fingers and I thought, oh, not good. So we're going to start off with the orange, and I'm just going to do a mixture of colours. So again, sort of saturate that sponge with your colour, and then I tend to just tap it on my glass mat because I don't want a big splodge in the middle of the stencil. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick an area, and I want to actually bring it sort of across the middle here, like so. You can see how far that one lot of ink's gone.
Really
and as I say, I like the opaque inks for this. They're really smooth blendable. You could do it with your water reactive inks if you've got those as a collection. You can actually do it with the quick dry inks. You just have to be really quick with them because the drying time on those is quite quick, as it says on the tin. Now, I'm not worried that I'm going over the edge of the stencil here because I'm going to trim this down when I've actually finished. So I've got that piece down there with the wanted to catch the flowers in the orange, and then I'm just going to turn that round and do a little bit on this bottom corner here as well. And then we're going to introduce the fuchsia. So this one's orange, which comes with the Chinese red and the Bordeaux for the shades in that one. And then the fuchsia is the mid-tone out of the pink collection. So again, let's pop that one away. And we're going to do the same now. And I'm going to change my little felt pad, my sponge applicator for the pink one. Again, load up that sponge with the ink, and then just tap off any excess so that you don't get a big clump of it.
Interesting to see you take the sponge to the pad, because I know a lot of people tend to, everyone, I'll get this out in a moment, won't I? Honestly, spit it out, Remblance. What's wrong with you? A lot of people I've seen tend to put the ink pad on the glass mat and then pick it up with a sponge.
It depends what technique I'm doing, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll actually put it onto the mat and then pick it up from there. But for this, you know, it's sort of like, you can get it off the ink pad. And then where the two join here, where they actually overlap, you're going to get a slightly darker shade, which is nice. They blend beautifully. So I want quite a lot of depth of colour on this. I really quite like this when I've done it, and I tend to go for more pastel colours than brights, but when I'd actually had a play with this, it looked really nice when I'd finished it. So again, through the rest of the stencil here, and I'm just overlapping slightly with that orange, just to make that sort of third tone in the middle. Not too much, but it'll just blend in there and then fill in the gap there. And I've just put my cloth over it so that I don't lift the ink back off with my fingers, and in an attempt to try and keep my fingers a little bit clean. I can't guarantee that later when we just start with Colour Me Happy, but at least for now, we'll try and keep them clean.
We're lucky we've got a double Jan day this week here on Crafts TV, because of course you're with us for the latest Colour Me Happy show, and then 2 shows with you tomorrow as well, Jan.
That's right, exciting. I am, yes, absolutely, yes. And we've got a craft along tomorrow, Joe, as well.
Yes, and play your crafts right.
Yes.
I'm off the back of my hot win last week with Debbie.
Oh.
She was fuming last week,
Jan.
Jan.
It was a tough, I was watching. It was a tough one. I only guessed 2 of them.
Did you?
Oh no, 3. I got 3 of them. I got Cosmopolitan, I got the Margarita, and I got the Manhattan. Some of them I'd never heard of.
Right, turns out I drink a lot more cocktails than Debbie, I think, was what we understood last week. But yeah, a fun game coming up tomorrow in Play Crafts, so make sure you join us for that. That is stunning.
So I'm just going to get rid of the tape off there, and then I just want to do a little bit of clean up so that we don't transfer the ink. So I've just got water in my spritzer, get the cloth out again, and because these are water based, it all just cleans away nicely.
I have just found out what the game is tomorrow, Jan.
Have you? What have we got to look forward to?
Johnny, name that squiggle.
Name that squiggle.
And it's a country's special.
Oh heck.
See, I'm not a very good drawer, but you can't draw the flag, you can draw stuff from the country.
So we've got to draw.
Who guesses it then, Johnny?
Oh, it's a bit like Pictionary, isn't it? Yeah, another game.
So the fact then that I could be good at it would actually benefit Jan and not me.
Right.
Well, that'll be interesting, because I'm terrible drawer, Jan, but I'm pretty good with my country's knowledge, so who knows?
Let's see. Oh, I don't know about that one. We'll see.
Not allowed to draw the shape of the country or the flag, but
so like something that
country
represents it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So just a quick top tip with the stencils, because I've got all that ink still left on my stencil there, I'm literally going to use a wet baby wipe and just clean the stencil, but I've got a piece of cardstock underneath, and what you get is like a 2 for the price of 1. It's just rubbing that ink, and you get a much more pastel effect on this one from the surface of the stencil onto the cardstock. And this was just a piece that I've grabbed. It can be any of your colours, but I've got a nice clean stencil now to put back in the packet, but you get a second image. So again, you know, whether you prefer the dark sort of vivid colours or whether you prefer the more pastel effect, and again, put it down and you've got another piece that you can use there with your and that'll work for any of your stencils. So literally what I'm going to do with this one now is chop it down, and then I'm going to cut it up. You know me, I'm always cutting things up. I never leave them as they are. So I actually want it to be, I think I cut it down to 5.5 inches. So it is trimming a little bit off the edge of the pattern, but I'm not too worried about that. So I literally take the edges off, and I find this easier than trying to work with a piece. When the piece of cardstock's smaller than your stencil, you've almost got nothing to hold on to when you're working on it. So make it a bit bigger to start with, and then trim it down to the size that you want it. So that's going to be the main part, and then we're going to cut this into 4 sections. So I've started here at 5.5. So half of 5 is 2.5, and half of a half is 1/4. So I want 3/4 of an inch, which is going to cut it right down the centre vertically. And then I'm going to turn it round and do the same again at 2 3/4 inches, and then keep them in the right sort of orientation. All right, so 2 3/4, like so. So this is going to be my piece that I'm going to work with there. Just pop that down. All right, and what I did actually find out, when I'd got this far and cut it in half, I thought, oh, look.
Oh, wow. That's epic.
How
Oh,
clever
do you
is
know,
that?
It looks like a Moroccan tile, doesn't it, when you do that?
Honestly, and that was literally, you know, on the stencil, these pieces are on the outside. If I show you the packet there,
Yeah.
these are actually on the outside. But I thought, oh, I just wonder if by, you know, just by swapping it about, you can actually make it look totally different there by actually teaming it up the other way, and looks just as nice. But I'm going to keep it in this orientation. And what I've done is I've just caught the, I caught it on the guillotine when I put it down, yeah. If anybody's got a plaster, I would be
We'll
grateful.
grab you a
I don't
plaster,
want
don't
to,
you worry about that.
I don't want to sort of get
Don't
it
want to
over
bleed
everywhere.
on your. Don't want to bleed on your project. No,
I'm
it'd be
all
too,
right.
too
I'm okay. I'm not.
beautiful.
It's nothing serious. I just don't want to get it everywhere. That's all.
Okie doke.
I just caught the blade on the guillotine when.
I'll give you a chance just to grab a plaster, Jan.
All right.
Diana says, Joe, it's so good to have you back and bring in the laughter. I'll try. It's not always intentional though, Diana. Pamela says, I love the glossy accents. I have a whole bunch from another brand. You can colour them too. Yes, those glossy highlights coming up a little bit later in the show. Paula says, excellent collection, a wonderful addition to the summer dies and stamps. Not to forget all of those beautiful papers as well. Gilmore says, Jen said she likes a man on his knees, and Joe snorted. LMAO, I can't control myself this morning. Sorry. Blame Jan, it's not me. So everyone says that I'm the common thread and it's always the Debbies, but actually it turns out, you know. Mary Lee says...
Oh, come on.
I think so. I think that's what it is. Mary Lee says, hi, Johnny, you're a great addition to our US early morning 5:45 show. You absolutely will wake a lot of us up and make us wonder, did we really just see some eye candy? Rewind. You guys are too much, honestly, too much. Gilmore saying lovely interview as well, and also Terry Tom saying the word collection that came with the stencils got me hooked on using stencils. I now absolutely love them. So lots of you loving those. There is another excellent little collection coming up in Colour Me Happy. I haven't seen this one before, and it is our background builder collection. You've got 19 different elements here within there. 2 cardstocks for you to get the watercolour and also the Nina cardstock. You've got the craft mat in there. You're getting the mixing palette, the round blending tool and the refills. You've got the nylon brush in there, a flagstone, waterproof finesse, and also the noir black ink pad and a tape pen in there as well. It's really brilliant for allowing you to create those backgrounds, which is awesome. £30 or $40, £24 or $32 for Club Inspired Platinum members today. Now, that will go beautifully with your stencils, of course. Here they are. It's the Sarah Signature Garden Party Stencil Collection. 2 elements in there for you. The delicate doilies and the traditional borders in there too. Make sure you grab those. I know Jan's got lots planned to share with you. Also, stencils so awesome whether you want to emboss with them, with an embossing mat, or if, of course, you want to put your paste, your inks, your spritzes through them too. Of course, the highlight, what I think, there's a big, do you know what there is around this, Johnny? There's a buzz around this in the building. See what I did there? No? Okay. Okay. Right, £99 or $140. It's $79.99 or $112 for Club Inspired Platinum members. Remember what you are getting here. Absolutely loads. 2 full 12 by 12 paper pads in there. Stamps and dies. You've got cut-in dies, cut-out dies. There's loads in there. Create a card for you as well. And it's not going to sting at that price, as Johnny just said. Absolutely isn't. Did sell out over on HSN. Lots of you really, really are excited and anticipating that. Myself and Leanne are here for a 2-hour launch day with you at 3 p.m, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. Did John patch you up, Jan?
He did. The medics have been, and I'm all patched up. Look, he's come and looked after me, yeah. Very, very foolishly, when I was putting the guillotine away, I've literally just caught it under the blade. No. And it is very, very sharp, which I know how sharp it is, but nevertheless,
I'm
just
glad
caught my knuckle.
A nice, discreet plaster.
It is, yeah. You wouldn't know where I'd hurt myself.
No.
You can't tell, can you, Joe?
Absolutely not, no.
But our John came and looked after me, so yes. And he's brought me a spare plaster just in case I need it later. He's very good.
He's very attentive, isn't he?
He is, yes. So, all we've done then, I got my 4 pieces that I'd cut up, and what I've done is I've mounted them onto some black cardstock. And then I've just left that one edge. I wanted a border around it, and I've just left that one edge just to show you with the fine liners, literally. I know some of you have seen me do this before, but I wouldn't even attempt to try and draw a straight line. So I deliberately go wavy. So up and down, sort of like an up and down wobbly line on purpose, and then back to the beginning, and where I've gone down this time I'm going to go over the top to create like a double. Okay, and I've gone straight from where this one ends into the next one just to create that border, and then I like to pop sort of some little like faux stitching lines on it. Just finishes it off and draws your eye in, and I do that on a lot. Just sometimes when you think, oh, it needs just that something just to finish it, rather than it just being a, you know, sort of a plain edge around it. So that's going to be the sort of background of my card, and I've made a card blank for it to go on, which is 6.5 inches square. So we'll get that stuck down. We'll use the tape pen to actually pop that down. And then I've just grabbed a sentiment out of my my box. I just grabbed the first one that I came out on, which said thanks, which I thought was a nice one. So again, it doesn't really matter which way, you know, you have this, it's your choice. But nice and simple. I've just kept it fairly basic. I wanted the stencil to do the talking there, and then again I've been out with my I can't put this stuff down.
It's
honestly,
awesome, isn't it?
The glossy highlights, it's something that I know everything's going to end up getting sort of highlighted, and I've actually done my sentiment, cut it twice to make it a bit more robust, and then if I just tilt it, can you see how it's got that beautiful sheen on it there? It also makes it look sort of like an enamelled piece rather than cardstock. And all I did was colour my cardstock underneath. It's a piece of watercolour card. Used the 2 coloured inks that I'd used on the background and just coloured a scrap in and then die cut from it. And that's literally all I'm going to do. I'm just going to run some tape along the back of there. No sort of fuss, no foam pads, no decoration. I literally just want to pop that on the front and keep it nice and simple. But you can see where that stencil's doing literally all the talking. So again, we'll have a look at that from the front there. And again, you can tailor that colour-wise to whatever you want, you know, to work with. So yeah, really, really handy to have there in the stash.
Really gorgeous, and what a great simple technique that you can use there to glossy highlights. So many different applications for those, and a brilliant, brilliant price. I know lots of you got them. Thousands went when we launched them last Friday. They continue to be very busy now, and they are still in stock, which is awesome. I don't know how long that's going to be the case for. Right, I can see a lot of you with very full, beautiful looking baskets. I'm going to give you an opportunity to check out. So whilst you do that, let's share with you all the details of US shipping and all the fabulous things that come with Club Inspire.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
All the details there of US shipping and also Club Inspire. Sharon Suckling's asking, what ink pads did you just use in that last demo there, Jan?
They were the Harmony Opaque ink pads that I chose, and I used orange and fuchsia. It would do exactly the same technique with the water reactive inks. You'd get the same idea, and you could actually get away with it with your quick dry inks. You just need to be quite quick with the blending in those, but I love the pigment inks for blending. They blend together beautifully, so that was my choice for that particular one.
Excellent. Loads of love for that last demo. Helen Moore says, love the stencil effect. Lorna Jane saying Jan's tips are amazing. Kathy loves this collection. Mandy Doodlehands says, I love the colours used on the stencil. Pamela says, just been and had a sneak peek of the Colour Me Happy products. Jan, I can't wait to see all your demos. And Jerry loving that wavy line technique also. Something else that is going to be featured, of course, later in our Colour Me Happy show are our metallic inks. And they are buy one, get one half price. Bogger Hop is what you've got here. All of them are back in stock, so you've been waiting for these. I think when it comes to inks, the jars, not only do you get absolutely loads of them, there are loads of different techniques you could do. You've got the gold, you've got the silver there, you've also got the antique bronze, pewter, which I love. The burnished copper is delightful. The ancient bronze is beautiful. You've got the aged copper in there as well. Tarnished silver is another option for you. Green citrine is this one here. Vintage satin, that lovely red tone. And you've got the antique pearl there, as well as the rose gold too. Really great that they're all available individually. I know sometimes they come to you in 3-packs, so it's really great that you can select your own. And as we said, buy one, get one half price. So make sure you're buying 2s, 4s or 6s of those would be my recommendation for you. But I think it's fair to say, Jan, lots you can do. Great versatility when it comes to the jars, isn't there?
Honestly, again, it goes back to that. You've heard me say this so many times, whereas technically it's a water-based product. The minute I hear that, it's got so many possibilities for using sort of with other products. So again, it's a colouring medium, it's an ink. These have got a metallic, they've got the mica in them to make the metallic, absolutely gorgeous coverage. But if you work with them while they're still damp, you can do lots of watercolouring techniques. You can spritz them, you can actually sort of make them, you know, where it wicks out into the water. We're actually going to stamp with them today, so I wanted to try and do something a bit different. You know, you can make your backgrounds, you can do the washes like we do with the sparkle inks and the aqua tints, that kind of thing, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I've got the original set, was a set of 4, and I'm going to take out, mine's the vintage florals, and I'm going to take out the, let me just read the right colours. We've got antique pearl, and which other one did I take? The citrine, green citrine. Okay, so I've got those two to work together, and I've just taken some of our plain matte black card that we're going to use with them. I've also got a little pot of water and a couple of paint brushes for this one as well that I'm going to paint directly onto the stamp. Now I've just chosen a stamp that was in my stash. It's not one that's on the show today, but I wanted a butterfly, so I've just picked one that was in my stash. So I'm going to bring the stamping mat in. I've got a piece of card underneath because I'm going to stamp off the edge, and then we're literally going to work with this. So just before you actually use these, they've got a little ball bearing inside because you've got that metallic element in. The mica will settle in the bottom of the little container. So just by giving it a swirl round, it'll mix it all in with the rest of the liquid, and then you can see in here, just look at that gorgeous lushness in there. So I'm going to pop those. Try not to knock these over, Joe. My goodness, me and inks.
Have you knocked these over before? Have you got previous here,
It was
Jan?
an aqua tint, I think, or is it a sparkle ink? It was one of the two, and it was the red one.
Right.
And I knocked it forward, and it went all over me. I looked as if I'd had a massive accident, honestly. It was on my trousers, it was on the chair, it was on the floor. And at the time, my daughter was still expecting little Toby. And I messaged her, I said, anybody think I'd just had the baby? Because it was just all over the place. It were a nightmare. It was like, what do I clean up first? But hey ho. So yeah, I'm just going to use water. I've got a paintbrush because, again, I don't want to contaminate my colours, so I've got one for each colour. And I am literally going to go straight into the ink pot here. So I'm literally just going to tell you don't need a lot. This ink goes a long, long way. You can see there that I've only just tipped it into the pot. And I'm literally going to paint. And I've chosen a flat paintbrush so that I can just drag it over the edge of the actual stamp. Now this will work with your acrylic, with your photopolymer. If you've got rubber stamps, it'll work with those. And then I'm also going to bring in the other paintbrush and take just again a little tiny bit of the green there, and say you don't need much for this particular technique. Pop those right over there so I'm not going to catch them. And then I'm just going to bring this one onto the edges of the butterfly. So again, straight on this side. Now it does stay wet for a little while, but depending on how long it takes you to obviously put this onto your stamp, then you may just need a little tiny spritz, and that's what I tend to do. So I've just got water in my spritzer, and I'm just going to hold it quite a long way away and just give it a gentle mist with the water. And then literally decide where you want it on your cardstock. And you will get maximum sort of potential out of these with your darker coloured cardstocks. They will show up on white, but you just tend to get the pigment rather than the metallic effect. But on a darker cardstock, you're going to get that gorgeous. Once it's dry, you're going to get that lovely metallic. But look how that's actually picked up on there.
Really
just
cool.
Got those colours on there, beautiful. And you wouldn't, somebody looking at it would be thinking, what have they used to stamp that with? So we'll just do one more, and then I've actually got one already done for you. So again, we just take that purple, and you will get a second one out of this. If you spritz again, you will get a second image, and maybe even a third, but each one becomes slightly paler, less sort of vivid in colour. So because I want these to look alike, I'm going to go back in with the ink. So again, I'm literally just taking the corner of the brush into the ink, and I've got way too much on there now. It should settle in, and it won't damage your stamps. They will wash off because it's a water-based product. It will wash off. The worst it will do is maybe stain them.
Okay.
And again, it's just a really light misting. I'm not putting a lot of water on it. If you drench it, your images will go sort of a little bit blurry. Again, just like you would stamp normally. Pop it down onto your cardstock, let that ink transfer, and then you're going to get those gorgeous. That one is a little bit wet. I maybe didn't need to actually reapply the water there, but you can see how we're getting that effect there.
Love how
so
that
again,
they look quite textured on the black cardstock as well.
They do,
don't they?
yeah. I'm going to jump ahead because I'm just conscious of the time, and you can see where I've done exactly that look. Look at the metallic finish on it now. Now it's actually dry. Beautiful. And I've just mounted it on a little bit of pale mint green cardstock just to pull that green out. So just to pop that together into a card, I've made myself a little fold back. So it started out life as a 5 3/4 inch square, and I've just folded it this way. Now you can just see here where I was actually working, and I'd got my wet wipe on the desk, and it's just picked up a bit of colour, and I thought, do I recut it? But no, I'm going to show you a little trick. So what I've done is I'm going to put this one, I've put a piece inside which has just got my matte layer on, just for writing your sentiment, and then this one exactly the same size, so this one's going to go over the top. So I know that I only want adhesive on this side, so I'm going to go to the right hand side of the centre there and use the tape pen just to pop some adhesive on that side. If you want to mount it on foam, you could do that. And then line this one up with the one that's underneath here. And you're going to get a perfect match there underneath. And then what I did is I used my stamp again, and I've stamped out onto the watercolour card this time. I wanted a contrast here. And I've taken chose a couple of pens that mimicked the ink, or you could actually colour it in with the metallic ink if you wish. But as I say, on a white cardstock, you tend to just get the pigment rather than the metallic effect. So this one's going to be the focal point on there. So we're just going to stick that one in the centre there. All right, just in the middle. And then this particular stamp set is called Beautiful, and I love the sentiment in here. And what I thought was if we actually take this slightly off the edge of the page, it's going to cover up my little faux pas there with
no one will know.
The ink. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean you've got to waste everything. I thought, no, if I hadn't have told you, you might not have known. So yeah, again, nice and simple. I'm not going to do too much detail on there. I want that metallic ink to sort of do the talking. And just before I do anything else, I'm literally going to put those lids back on my ink pot. So that is just one of many, many, many techniques that we could do. Okay, so that's that bit done. And then my stamp, I would literally just take the wet wipe and the ink literally just comes straight off there.
Awesome. Do you think we should do, because it's card of the show now as well?
Oh, right. Shall we do a quick lineup then?
Do you want to grab your bits and then we'll
I'll grab my bits. I will, Joe.
Thank you. Kathy says, Jan, I watch you do a card using vellum. Can you help me? What's the difference between vellum and acetate? Can you colour on acetate? Great question. I'll pop that to Jan in just a second. Rose says, I've got metallic liquid ink. Going to try this. It looks fabulous. Well, if you've got the liquid inks, make sure you join us for that later Colour Me Happy show, because you're going to get loads of inspiration in there as well. Yeah, Kathy's saying, what's the difference between vellum and acetate, and can you colour on acetate, Jan?
Yes, so acetate is clear, all right? It's like a plasticky substance and it's clear. And if you want to actually colour onto acetate, I would recommend an alcohol marker or an alcohol ink. So if you've got the little bottles of alcohol ink, it will work, or your alcohol markers. And I tend to colour on the reverse. So if, for example, we'd stamp that butterfly out, I would turn it over and colour in on the reverse part. And your alcohol, it looks like stained glass. Now, a vellum is actually sort of translucent. It's almost like frosted. So it looks a little bit like our frosted shim. So you've got this kind of effect on a vellum. All right, so again, you can do exactly the same. You can stamp onto it, you can colour onto it, but you want something that's a permanent. It won't take watercolour. Water would just sit on the top of it as it would on the acetate. It needs to be solvent-based, so alcohol inks are your best ones. If you're going to stamp on it, stamp with something like a Stays-On ink.
Awesome.
All right, so that's your two differences, yep.
Hope that helps. Right, card of the show then, Jan.
Card of the show, right. We started the top of the show with that gorgeous Beautiful then. So our Leanne's coming up at 3 o'clock with this one. This was my take on it, so that was number 1. All right, number 2, we worked with those stencils. Okay, using those opaque inks just to showcase the stencil. So that's number 2. And then number 3, we've just done a quick fly through the metallic inks. And that one is number 3 with the butterflies on there.
Excellent. So 1, 2 or 3, you've got the choice to vote. Crafters TV if you are across on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you're over on YouTube. It's going to be a very quick vote. You've got basically a minute to vote, and then we will reveal the winner of that before the end of this show. I've got to tell you how off the chart incredibly busy the brand new Nature's Garden launch is. Beautiful. Actually on our way already to a quarter of the stock. Selling out there, really busy. Remember what you're getting in there, absolutely everything. It is, of course, the full collection. So you're getting 2 12 by 12 paper pads in there. You've got cut in dies, cut out dies. You've got cut and emboss folders, stamps, layering stamps, border dies. There really is. It's a huge, huge collection, that one. And the price on it is amazing for you. Under £80 or $112 as a Club Inspire Platinum member. I would absolutely recommend that you take the opportunity in the break between shows to get yourself over to the website craftscompanion.co.uk.eu and get your order placed. It's going to be very, very busy. It's a brilliant day coming up, Jan, isn't it?
It is. Honestly, I'm a little bit sort of like, I wanted to be here for Beautiful, you know, but you can't win them all, can you, Alianne? It's probably the best person to get in the house for it. So that's coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then I'm back at 7 this evening. So we've got Colour Me Happy. I've got some dies on there. I've got some stamp sets on there. I've got some cosmetics Cosmic Shimmer products on there. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully my little injury will have healed up by then. It was only a tiny little cut. I'm good. But we've got our John on standby just in case.
Yeah, I'm sure you come in like fan you between shows and stuff as well, Jan. You know, bring you multiple cups of tea as well. I think that will be in order for our latest 7 p.m. show. Demo of the show is card number 1. So that first one
doesn't surprise me.
Collection.
Yeah,
that
fantastic.
is gorgeous. I need to also remind you as well about the penny sale, which is happening over on the website. It's happening up until midnight on the 27th of June. So you've got until the end of Sunday, wherever you are, to take advantage. And basically, you've got a whole host of different dies on there. You buy one and get the second one for a penny. Brings a whole new meaning to spending a penny, Jan, doesn't it?
It sure does, yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Honestly, I might be having a look myself when I go fair, Joe. See if I can grab a bargain. So yeah, we've got our Craig back on Monday. So we sort of kept his seat warm for him. Debs did the beginning of the week. I've done today for him. We've let him have his week off, but he is back on your screens on Monday at 12 o'clock with Wake Up Call. So I think that's just about brings us to the end of the show, Joe, doesn't it? And we will meet again at 7 p.m. later on this evening. So thank you for joining us today if you've been watching along. Don't forget 3 o'clock with our Leanne here in the UK and 7 p.m. tonight for Colour Me Happy. If you can join us then, we would love your company. So thanks again. Don't forget those photos of your doggies as well for later on tonight. Okay? But thanks for joining us, and from Joe and I for now, we're going to say bye-bye.